Is it okay to remain friends with your ex even if you are in a new relationship? Now, this is a brilliant question that came from one of my boys on YouTube named Tony G89YT. Make sure to check him out, see what he's got going on. Now, the reason I felt it was necessary to create an entire video about this is because he asked, and secondly, because I thought this was a question that not only ruminated in my own mind, but has been ruminating in so many people's minds. So many people have asked themselves this question, especially those who have, gotten out of relationships, found themselves in a new relationship, and they don't have bad blood with their ex, right? It maybe things just didn't work out and you guys remain friends, you guys remain in contact, etc. Now, if you know anything about me, you know I'm going to answer a question straight up. I'm going to answer it straight up and down, right? I'm not going to fluff it. I'm not going to put no sugarcoat on it. I'm going to answer it as objectively as I can. And the answer to this question is, do you want your partner, your current partner, doing the same thing as you are doing? Or are you okay with your partner doing the thing that you're doing? That's the premise. That's the foundation of all of this. So you ask yourself, well, is it okay for me to stay friends with my ex? And I say, better question is, are you okay with your partner staying friends with their ex? I don't play this double standard hypocrisy. I don't play that, right? I don't play, well, it's different with us because, we're cool like that. And, our moms are still friends. And no. Take away all them excuses. Are you okay with your current partner still being friends with their own ex? Buddy, but in the very same measure that you are. I don't know what it is that you may be doing. Maybe you're texting back and forth. Maybe you're meeting up for coffee. Maybe she's at the family reunions, right? If you are okay with your partner doing the very same thing with their ex, they're at the reunions, they're getting coffee, they're chatting on text, right? They're going through the DM, sending each other all kinds of emojis when you're posting something on your story. If you are okay with them doing the same thing, then go right ahead and do it. Straight up. If you're okay with your partner keeping that same rapport and relationship with their ex after their relationship has passed and now they're with you, if you're okay with that and you allow that to be and you're not going to create a double standard, then absolutely go ahead, go right ahead. But as far as me and mine, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that I cut those ties for the sake of my relationship. I believe it is respectful to do so. Now, I may be considered as old school, right? I may be a young dude in age. Well, to some, the youngsters might see me as an OG or something like that. But, I'm 27 years old, but I may not be for the times. Maybe they're just quote unquote doing things different nowadays. But I don't know how people are having cohesive relationship dynamics, still dragging baggage from the past. I don't know how people are living in the now when they're still so focused on what was. So how are you going to bring an old relationship into your new relationship and expect it to thrive? That part I do not get. You can miss me with that. So as far as I'm concerned, out of respect for my new relationship, out of respect even for my ex, right? If they're in a relationship, absolutely not. I'm not keeping any sort of rapport with that individual to respect their own relationship dynamic because I got respect for relationships. That's the difference. I'll be straight up with y'all, right? As I always am. At 18 years old, I cheated on my partner. That was the first and last time I ever did it. I broke up with her the next day and I got with the chick that I had laid up with. And then obviously we ended up breaking up, but never again did it happen for another decade plus, right? Or at least upwards to a decade at this point. Never again. The reason why is because I finally put a respect on relationship. I finally said, if I'm going to be in a relationship, I'm going to respect you and I and the relationship itself. So if I want to go out and do whatever type of activities that are outside of a relationship, then I got to end the relationship. You understand me? There's got to be principles that we set in place for ourselves. And we make so many excuses as to why I did this and why I'm not doing that and why I can do this, but you can't do that. I don't play that. I play the straight up, straightforward game. I'm going to do what I expect me to do, and I also expect you to do the very same things within this relationship. I expect you to show up how I'm showing up, me showing up how you're showing up. You understand me? There has to be that reciprocity. So it's not fair if you're going to hold that standard for yourself and then you're going to be mad when your partner's doing it. So I had a homegirl who was a model and her boyfriend happened to be a photographer. Now, they didn't meet working, right? But lo and behold, he was a photographer, lingerie models. She was a model for a lot of bikini lines and things of that nature, right? So you would think, oh, that's a perfect combination. However, he became pissed off because she was posting pictures or having her body exposed out to the world, as he claimed. Meanwhile, he was backstage behind closed doors, literally taking pictures of the ones that look like his girl. He was over there taking, more risque pictures. If I'm to be honest, the type of stuff he was doing was borderline corn, right? That was his hobby per se, right? He was trying to turn this into a full-time job. So think about the hypocrisy in this. Think about it. He's doing this. He's taking pictures of folks who are basically stripped down, and she's doing the bikini shoots. And now he's mad that she's doing that. Now, for me, I see hypocrisy in that. If he wasn't doing what he was doing and she was posting these pictures or whatever it was, then I would see that, okay, there's a valid point there, right? He feels uncomfortable. That's his boundary. And if we're to call that insecure, whatever it is, we need to stop doing that. We need to stop projecting. We need to stop gaslighting. We need to stop putting these things on people and simply mind our business when it comes to what somebody chooses as their own standard, as their own boundary. Right? You may think that that person is insecure, but that's you. That means that that person is not for you. If you think that, oh, they're insecure because they don't want me posting certain things or don't want me showing up in a certain way, don't date them. Simple as that. Just don't date them. Just don't be with them. Find you somebody who sees that as art, as whatever you see it as, right? We need to find the person who resonates with us. Like me and my girl on one accord. We're just the same way. We're wired the same way. We have that same respect for relationship. We have that same respect for one another to where we wouldn't even dare think in that direction. Like, how does somebody even process that, right? Again, we're both old school in that way. So getting back to the matter at hand, it's really comes down to, are you willing to have the other person do the same? So if you are okay with them being friends with their ex or their exes and chatting them up and meeting up or whatever it is that you are also doing, then of course go right ahead. But if you're not okay with it, then you need to stop the behavior yourself. Otherwise, you're being a hypocrite. You are being two-faced. And it's not just that you're being a hypocrite, it's that it genuinely is not fair upon the relationship itself. It's not. To be persecuting somebody else for the very same thing that you're doing is not right, right? And I still stand on, look, it's not my job to make you comfortable. It's not my job to manage your emotions. However, I still have to show up with a certain level of dignity, right? Integrity, which means I'm going to treat you the same way that I want to be treated. And some of these principles have been lost over time. It's like this doesn't even mean anything anymore, right? To show up in the world in a certain way in order to have the world reflect itself back in that way. Like I can't show up as a shady character that want everybody to be trustworthy. I can't show up with no honor and integrity and expect everybody else to do so. Absolutely not. So if I'm showing up a certain way, if I'm, on the Instagram and I'm following all kinds of booty models and stuff like that, and then I'm mad that my girl is following, ab models, I don't even know, whatever they got, as the alternative, I'm a hypocrite. I have to be displaying the exact same as she's displaying or vice versa, or whoever your partner is. So that is my conclusive answer to this age-old question. Is it okay to remain friends with your ex? It is up to you and the relationship dynamic you want to have right now in the present. Now, I will give this opinion on top of that. I believe that doing so is only going to keep in limbo the very same things that you do not desire. So you want this fresh, new dynamic relationship, but yet you're dragging the past into it. For some reason, you still feel a need to bring the old into the new. Think about that. What do you think is going to happen if you're still clinging on to what was while still trying to live in the present moment? You will never be present. You can never fully be with your partner if you have all these people that are still tied to you. We talk about soul ties for a reason. It's a very real thing. If you still have these emotional connections to people, you still have these physical connections on top of that, forget about it. The relationship you're in right now, that's going to be another ex. That's going to be another ex. That's going to be a whole nother ex. And you're going to find yourself right smack dab in a new situationship or in a new relationship with a whole bunch of situationships. Sure, it might not be physical. Sure, you guys might just be friends. But when it's all said and done, there was still that connection that was there. That's why I believe the word X exists. We're supposed to exit out that relationship is exited. And that comes with intimate or romantic relationship. That comes with friendships, etc. There are some friendships that are simply past their course. They have passed their time. They are null and void, and we are still trying to drag them into our present, and we're wondering why we can't live a fulfilled life in this very moment. It's because those things were supposed to have been left in the past. So that's my take on it. That's how I view it. You understand me? I understand the power of taking something with you that's not supposed to be in the space that you are, and how that thing will keep you trapped in the past. And we think that's not going to happen with relationships. Come on, man. Tony, I know you know. I know, and I know, trust me, you're a brother who's got some things going on in your life, right? And you got these exes that are trying to stay last you. I get it. Trust me. I got exes from 3 exes ago still trying to keep themselves in the limbo and the loop, and I can't do it. Like, I might have one message for you, boom, 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 but I'll make things very clear. And sometimes I just leave you on red. I ghost you. You understand? When we broke up, when we ended that relationship is when we ended that relationship. If I had something to say, usually it was just like an apology or whatever it was. Look, I'm sorry for these things that I finally realized later down the road that I hurt you in this way and that way and this way. When I realized I was emotionally unavailable for so long and I finally got into a space of emotional availability, I had some people to hit up and be like, I'm sorry that I treated you this way. But it wasn't to get back in limbo with them people. It wasn't to get them back in cycle. And some of us are so afraid of being alone that we feel we have to keep all these people around us and, including, again, friends. We keep all these pieces, these moving pieces in our lives. Wonder why we got so much damn stress going on, right? We got all these relationships that were supposed to have been gone years ago, but we're keeping them right here with us. And we're wondering, man, why does it feel like I'm stuck? Why does it feel like, nothing new can come into my life? Why does it feel like every relationship I get into, it continues this habitual pattern? It's because you're dragging the past with you. You have not processed the past in order to let it go. And you don't want to be a bad person. I understand that. I got to address this as well. You feel as if you are going to be a bad person or perceived as bad, perceived as selfish, perceived as not caring, perceived as insensitive. And I know that's where a lot of us also come from, right? Surprisingly, believe it or not, ladies, even us as men, we feel to ourselves, damn, I don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want to be a terrible dude. I don't want to be an a-hole, whatever. And so what do? We continue to entertain things we shouldn't be entertaining. I know y'all do the same thing a lot of times. I don't want to be seen as a that. So what do? I just keep on, keep engaging this person, even though I don't actually want to. And then now you're compromising the relationship that you're currently in, or the relationship you could be in. You understand me? The relationship that you could eventually get or find yourself in, the beautiful, intimate partnership, the soulmate relationship per se. You are holding yourself apart from that because you continue to entertain and engage things that are not in resonance with it. And so that's another aspect. We need to let go. Look, this is why I wrote Doing Me Guilt-Free, right? This is why I wrote this book. Because we need to let go of this mentality of being seen as good, being seen as, as righteous, being seen as not selfish, as not greedy, whatever it is. We need to stop guilting ourselves into these situations and situationships and keeping ourselves bound to people because we feel bad. It's not our job to manage somebody else's emotions. It's not our job to drag somebody through life. It's not our job to save anybody. What do you think you're giving to that person that they can't get from themselves? Whatever it is you think you're giving them they can't get for themselves, you're actually the problem. You are now an enabler. You're enabling that person from their own spiritual development every single time you hold on to them and they're holding on to you. Y'all clinging on to each other just like y'all did in that relationship. Let the X be an X if you truly want to live your next. Period. I'm out. I'm done. Oh, before I'm out. Make sure to get yourself a copy of one of them by clicking the link in the description below. Now I'm out. Appreciate y'all. Till the next time, namaste, namasko.